Listen closely, parents, guardians, mentors, all who hold the sacred trust of shaping a young mind. Within that child before you lies infinite potential, the raw material from which future empires, inventions, and masterpieces are built. You are the first architects, the primary influence upon the mind that will one day command its own destiny. Your responsibility is profound, your opportunity immense. For within your hands lies the power to nurture the seeds of greatness, or, tragically, to stifle them before they ever break ground. I have spent a lifetime studying the principles of achievement, analyzing the lives of those who rose from obscurity to staggering success. And I tell you now, the foundations of that success are laid not in adulthood, but in the fertile soil of childhood, under the watchful eye of those who guide them. Yet I observe a common grievous error among well-meaning parents. In their desire to see their children succeed, in their anxiety over perceived flaws or failures, they resort to methods born of fear and control. They attempt to motivate through criticism, through punishment, through the extinguishing of the very sparks of interest that signal the child's budding purpose. They believe they are teaching discipline, when in fact they are cultivating resentment. They think they are correcting faults, when in truth they are crushing the delicate spirit of self-belief. Let me state this with the force of absolute conviction. True motivation, the burning desire that fuels extraordinary achievement, cannot be forced by external pressure. It cannot be coerced through fear. It cannot be bought with hollow praise or fleeting rewards. It must spring from within the child's own soul, ignited and fanned by wise and understanding guidance. The timeless principles that govern success in the world of commerce, industry, and personal achievement apply with equal, if not greater, force to the task of raising a child destined for greatness. The laws of the mind are immutable, whether that mind resides in the boardroom or the playroom. In this discourse, I shall reveal how my own philosophy, gleaned from the lives of giants, provides the master keys to unlocking your child's innate potential. We will explore how to foster a burning desire for achievement, not through coercion, but through the cultivation of their inner world. We will cast aside the destructive methods of fear and control, and embrace the constructive principles that build confidence, resilience, and an unshakable will to succeed. Pay attention, for the future success of the child you cherish may well depend upon your understanding and application of these fundamental truths. First is the fallacy of motivation through fear. Observe the common scene. A child falters, a grade is missed, a task is left undone, and the parent, driven by concern, perhaps by frustration, reaches for the tool of punishment. Privileges are revoked. Activities cherished by the child are suspended. Threats of further consequences are issued. The logic seems sound on the surface. Impose pain to correct behavior. Create unpleasantness to deter future failure. This is the age-old method of control through fear. But I tell you, this method is a dangerous fallacy. It is built upon a fundamental misunderstanding of the human mind, especially the developing mind of a child. Fear is a destructive emotion. While it may compel temporary compliance, it poisons the well springs of genuine motivation. A child motivated by fear learns only to avoid punishment, not to strive for excellence. Their focus shifts from the joy of achievement to the anxiety of avoidance. They learn to hide mistakes, to resent authority, and to associate effort with unpleasantness. Fear paralyzes initiative. It closes the mind to creative solutions. It builds walls where bridges are needed. Consider the first principle of all achievement: desire, a burning, all-consuming desire for a definite goal. This is the starting point, the fuel that drives the engine of success. What happens when you punish a child by taking away the very activity that represents their current budding desire, their passion for sport, their love of art, their fascination with building things? You are not merely removing a privilege. You are attacking the nascent form of their definite purpose. You are pouring water on the very spark you should be fanning into a flame. You teach them through this misguided action that their desires are unimportant, conditional, and easily extinguished by external forces. You communicate that the world responds to their passions with penalty, not encouragement. How can a child develop a burning desire for achievement when their earliest desires are treated as bargaining chips or tools of punishment? How can they learn to trust their inner guidance when it leads to external disapproval or deprivation? You cannot build a skyscraper on a foundation of fear. You cannot inspire greatness through intimidation. Punishment may enforce compliance in the short term, but it will never ignite the inner fire of ambition. It creates subjects, not sovereigns of their own destiny. It breeds followers, not leaders. It cultivates mediocrity, not mastery. The child learns to operate from a negative mental attitude, expecting criticism, anticipating failure, and seeing the world as a place where their passions are vulnerable. This NMA becomes a powerful subconscious suggestion, attracting more of the very failures the parents sought to prevent. The mind dominated by fear cannot attract success. It attracts only more reasons for fear. Therefore, cast aside the crude tool of fear-based motivation. It is unworthy of your sacred trust. It is ineffective in building the character required for lasting success. The true path lies not in correcting faults through pain, but in discovering and nurturing the inherent strengths and desires within the child. Replace the whip of fear with the guiding hand of wisdom and encouragement. The first step towards fostering true, enduring motivation lies not in correction, but in discovery. We must first seek out the child's own inner blueprint for achievement. Now, discovering the child's definite purpose, early seed, the starting point of all worthwhile achievement, as I have stated countless times, is a definite purpose, a clear, specific goal, pursued with unwavering persistence and fueled by a burning desire. Now you may ask, how does this apply to a child? Does a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old have a definite purpose? Not in the way an adult might define a career goal or a financial objective, perhaps. But observe closely. Within every child reside the seeds of definite purpose. They manifest as strong interests, consuming passions, boundless curiosities. These are not mere hobbies or childish distractions, as some short-sighted parents assume. They are the whispers of the soul, the early expressions of the unique talents and inclinations that form the blueprint of their potential achievements. One child is fascinated by insects, spending hours observing them. Another loses track of time drawing intricate designs. A third builds elaborate structures with blocks. A fourth is captivated by stories, or music, or the workings of machines. These are not random inclinations. They are clues provided by infinite intelligence, pointing towards the path of that child's unique contribution. These are the early signs. These are the nascent forms of definite purpose. Your primary role as a parent is not to impose your own ambitions or predetermined paths upon the child, but to become an astute observer, a wise guide, helping them discover and explore these sparks of inner desire. How do you recognize these sparks? Observe voluntary effort. Where does your child invest time and energy willingly, without needing to be prodded or bribed? What activities absorb their attention completely, making them lose track of time? This indicates an alignment with inner desire. Listen to their enthusiasm. What topics make their eyes light up? What do they talk about incessantly, eager to share their discoveries or creations? Enthusiasm is the outward sign of an inner fire. Notice their joy. What activities bring them genuine happiness and a sense of accomplishment? Joy is the compass pointing towards purpose. Dismissing these interests as childish phases, or demanding they focus only on serious pursuits like academics is a grave error. You risk extinguishing the very fire that could illuminate their path to extraordinary success. Andrew Carnegie's early fascination with reading and telegraphy, Henry Ford's obsession with tinkering with machines. These were not distractions. They were the signposts pointing towards their ultimate definite purpose. Had their guides crushed these early interests, the world would be poorer for it. Your duty is to provide the environment for these interests to flourish. Offer resources, encouragement, and opportunities for exploration related to their passions. Ask questions that deepen their engagement. What do you find most interesting about that? What else could you create? What would happen if show genuine interest, not just tolerance? Your focused attention validates their path. Crucially, you must guard against imposing your own unfulfilled dreams or societal expectations onto the child. Their definite purpose must be their own. Your role is to help them uncover it, not to dictate it. A purpose imposed from the outside lacks the burning desire necessary to fuel persistence through inevitable obstacles. It becomes a duty, not a calling, and duty alone rarely leads to greatness. When a child is engaged in an activity aligned with their own burgeoning definite purpose, motivation ceases to be an issue. They don't need to be forced. They are pulled forward by an inner magnetism. Effort feels like play. Challenges become exciting puzzles to solve. They tap into a source of energy that seems boundless because it flows from their authentic self. Contrast this with the child forced into activities they dislike, or the child whose natural passions are ignored, or worse, punished. Their energy is drained, their spirit dampened. They learn compliance, perhaps, but they never taste the exhilarating power of pursuing a self-chosen goal with burning desire. They learn to suppress their inner voice, a tragedy of untold proportions. Therefore, make it your first mission to discover and nurture the seeds of definite purpose within your child. Treat their interests with respect, as sacred clues to their future potential. Fan these sparks into flames, for they are the very essence of the motivation you seek to instill. Help them find that which makes their heart sing, for therein lies the key to their achievement. Once this spark of purpose is identified and acknowledged, it must be protected and amplified by the power of belief. And this brings us to the second great principle in raising an achiever. Next is cultivating unshakable faith. Parental autosuggestion. Desire, however burning in purpose, however definite, are inert without the vitalizing force of faith. Faith, as I define it, is not mere hope or wishful thinking. It is a state of mind wherein one knows, with absolute certainty, that the object of one's desire can and will be attained. It is the eternal elixir, which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. It is the head chemist of the mind, blending spiritual force with thought. In the context of raising a child, faith takes on a dual meaning. It encompasses the child's developing faith in their own capabilities, and it involves the parent's unwavering faith in the child's potential. A child's belief in themselves is perhaps the most delicate and crucial element of their development. It is not innate, it is constructed, brick by brick, primarily through the messages they receive from their environment, especially from their parents. You, the parent, are the chief architect of your child's self-belief. Your words, your actions, your expressed and unexpressed attitudes act as powerful forms of autosuggestion, constantly impressing themselves upon the child's receptive subconscious mind. The subconscious mind does not argue. It accepts the suggestions fed to it, especially those delivered with emotion and repetition by trusted figures. If your suggestions are consistently positive, encouraging, and filled with belief in their potential, you build within them a foundation of rock-solid faith. They learn to see themselves as capable, resilient, and destined for success. You are programming their subconscious for achievement. If, however, your suggestions are predominantly negative, filled with criticism, doubt, comparisons to others, or focusing only on flaws, you sow seeds of self-doubt and limitation. You inadvertently program their subconscious mind for mediocrity or failure. You destroy the very faith needed to pursue their definite purpose. You become the unwitting source of their future limitations. How then do you consciously use the power of autosuggestion to cultivate unwavering faith in your child? Speak the language of belief. Use words that affirm their capability and potential. Instead of "you're not good at math," try "math feels challenging right now, but I know you have the mind to master it with practice." Instead of "don't fail," try "I believe in your ability to succeed, and I know you'll learn valuable lessons no matter the outcome." Frame your language around success, capability, and growth. Validate effort above all. Praise their persistence, their willingness to try, their courage in facing challenges, more than you praise innate talent or easy successes. "I admire how hard you worked on that project. You didn't give up even when it got tough. That shows real strength and character." Effort is the currency of achievement. Validating it builds the faith required to keep investing. Magnify small successes. Every small achievement is a building block for faith. Acknowledge and celebrate progress, no matter how incremental. Help them see their own growth. Remember when you couldn't do that. Look how far you've come through your own efforts. This provides tangible evidence to their subconscious mind that they are capable. Protect them from negative suggestions. Guard your own language carefully. Avoid labels. Use a shy one. She's lazy. These labels act as powerful negative suggestions. Be mindful of comparing siblings or peers, as comparison breeds inadequacy. Shield them, where possible, from overly critical or discouraging influences outside the home. Curate their mental environment. Help them visualize success. Guide them in using their imagination constructively. Encourage them to picture themselves succeeding, overcoming obstacles, achieving their goals. Help them create a clear mental image of their desired outcome, charged with positive emotion. This plants powerful seeds in the subconscious, directing its forces towards realization. Consistency is paramount. Faith is not built overnight. It requires the steady, repeated application of positive autosuggestion. Every encouraging word, every expression of belief, every celebration of effort adds another brick to the structure of their self-confidence. Doubt, criticism, and negativity chip away at this structure. Consider the power you wield. Your belief in your child can become their belief in themselves. Your faith acts as a powerful magnet, drawing forth their latent abilities. When you hold a firm, unwavering belief in their potential, you transmit that belief to their subconscious mind, unlocking doors they never knew existed. Conversely, parental doubt is poison. It seeps into the child's mind, creating limitations where none existed. If you do not believe in your child's potential, how can you expect them to? Your doubt becomes a negative affirmation, programming them for less than they are capable of achieving. Therefore, make the cultivation of faith your sacred duty. Use the mighty power of autosuggestion deliberately and constructively. Fill your child's mind with suggestions of strength, capability, and inevitable success. Build within them an unshakable belief in their own power to achieve their definite purpose. This faith will become their shield against adversity and their compass towards achievement. But this inner faith, combined with purpose, must be guided and directed by the right mental framework. This leads us to the third cornerstone principle, the master controller of destiny. Fourth section is instilling a positive mental attitude. Of all the principles of success, perhaps none is more fundamental than maintaining a positive mental attitude, or PMA. As I have often stated, you have absolute control over but one thing, and that is your own thoughts. It is through the control of your thoughts that you ultimately control your destiny. Positive mental attitude is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It is about consciously choosing a constructive, optimistic, and solution-oriented perspective, regardless of external circumstances. It is the master key that unlocks the door to resilience, creativity, and opportunity. It is the mental filter through which we interpret every experience, determining whether it becomes a stepping stone or a stumbling block. For a child, the development of a positive mood is not primarily an intellectual exercise. It is an absorbed characteristic, learned chiefly through imitation and environmental influence. Children are like mirrors, reflecting the attitudes of those closest to them, especially their parents. They learn how to react to life by watching how you react to life. If your home environment is dominated by a negative mental attitude, complaining, blaming, pessimism, criticism, fear, your child will inevitably absorb these thought patterns. They will learn to approach life with apprehension, to focus on limitations, and to expect failure. Motivation cannot thrive in such a toxic, negative mental attitude, closes the mind to opportunity, and drains the very energy needed for achievement. Consider the subtle ways negative mental attitude can manifest in a home. Constant worry expressed aloud about finances, health, or the future. Frequent criticism of others or circumstances. A tendency to focus on what is lacking rather than what is abundant. Gossip and negativity. These attitudes, even if directed at the child, create an atmosphere thick with negativity. The child breathes this atmosphere, and it shapes their subconscious expectations of life. They learn that the world is a place of scarcity and struggle, rather than opportunity and abundance. How can robust motivation flourish in such barren soil? Conversely, if you consciously cultivate and model a positive, you provide your child with the greatest possible advantage in life. You teach them by example to face challenges with courage, to seek opportunities within all obstacles, and to maintain hope even in the face of temporary defeat. The home grounded in positive mental attitude becomes a powerhouse of positive energy. Challenges are discussed openly, but always with an underlying belief in the ability to overcome them. Successes, both large and small, are celebrated. Effort is praised. Gratitude is expressed. The future is viewed with optimistic anticipation. This environment charges the child's mental batteries, equipping them with the resilience needed to pursue ambitious goals. They learn that setbacks are merely detours, not dead ends, and that their own attitude is their most powerful tool. How can you actively instill positive mental attitude in your child? Model it relentlessly. Be the living embodiment of positive Monitor your own self-talk. Speak constructively about challenges. Focus on solutions, not just problems. Express gratitude regularly. Let your child see you approach setbacks with resilience and your actions speak far louder than words. Reframe challenges. Teach your child to see difficulties, not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities for growth and learning. Ask questions like, what can we learn from this? What's another way we could approach this? What good might come out of this situation? Help them find the seed of equivalent benefit within every adversity. Focus on solutions. When problems arise, shift the focus quickly from blame or complaint to finding solutions. Involve your child in the problem-solving process. Okay, this didn't work out as planned. What are our options now? What's the next step we can take? This teaches proactive engagement, rather than passive victimhood. Teach optimistic self-talk. Help your child recognize and challenge negative or pessimistic thoughts. Encourage them to replace self-defeating statements. You're a Jedi. Can't do this. I'm not smart enough, with positive affirmations based on their strengths and past successes. So would I. And figure this out. I learn quickly. I will keep trying. Cultivate gratitude. Make gratitude a regular practice in your family. Encourage your child to notice and appreciate the good things in their life, large and small. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity and fosters a positive outlook. It shifts focus from lack to abundance. Remember, positive mental attitude is not about being unrealistic. It is about maintaining control over your inner world, regardless of the outer world. It is about understanding that your attitude determines your altitude. It is the conscious choice to seek the positive, to learn from the negative, and to move forward with hope and determination. A child equipped with a positive mental attitude is armed against discouragement. They possess an inner resilience that allows them to bounce back from setbacks. They see possibilities where others see only problems. This mental framework is essential for sustaining the motivation needed to pursue a definite purpose through the inevitable trials and tribulations of life. Therefore, make the cultivation of positive mental attitude a conscious priority in your home. Be the example, teach the principles, create an environment where optimism, resilience, and a solution-oriented mindset are the norm. This mental attitude will serve your child far more profoundly than any material advantage you could ever provide. With purpose defined, faith cultivated, and positive mental established, the surrounding environment plays a crucial role in either amplifying or diminishing these qualities. This brings us to the power of association, the cornerstone of which is the family itself. Next section is about the family as the first mastermind. No individual achieves great success alone. Throughout my research, I consistently found that men and women of significant accomplishment understood and applied the principle of the mastermind. A mastermind, as I define it, is the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people working towards a definite purpose in a spirit of perfect harmony. When two or more minds blend in a spirit of harmony, they create a third, invisible, intangible force which may be likened to a third mind. This mastermind possesses greater energy, wisdom, and power than any of the individual minds contributing to it. It is the synergistic power that allows ordinary individuals to achieve extraordinary results. Now consider this profound truth. The family unit is the child's first, most formative, and most crucial mastermind. The atmosphere within the home, the quality of the relationships, the spirit of cooperation or conflict, these factors constitute the mastermind alliance that shapes the child's developing consciousness more powerfully than any other influence. The family is the psychic incubator where the child's mental and emotional habits are formed. If the family mastermind operates in a spirit of harmony, mutual respect, encouragement, and shared positive values, it becomes an incredibly potent force for the child's growth and motivation. In such an environment, the child's budding definite purpose is nurtured and supported. Their developing faith is reinforced by the belief of others. A positive mental attitude is fostered through shared optimism and resilience. They feel safe, secure, and empowered to strive and take risks. Think of the synergy created when parents work together harmoniously, supporting each other and presenting a united front of encouragement for the child. Think of the power generated when siblings celebrate each other's successes, rather than competing destructively. This positive energy becomes a tangible force, lifting the entire family and providing the child with an unparalleled advantage. The child benefits not only from individual support, but from the amplified power of the harmonious group mind. However, if the family mastermind is characterized by discord, criticism, negativity, blame, or lack of mutual support, it becomes a destructive force. Such an environment stifles the child's interests and discourages purpose, erodes their self-belief through constant negative suggestions, cultivates a negative mental attitude through exposure to pessimism and conflict, creates insecurity and fear, hindering motivation and achievement. Parental conflict, constant arguing, disrespect between family members. These create psychic static that drains energy and undermines confidence. The child living in such an environment must expend precious mental resources, navigating the negativity, leaving little energy for pursuing their own goals. Their potential is suppressed by the disharmony surrounding them. They are handicapped by the very alliance that should be their greatest support. Therefore, parents recognize the immense power residing within your family dynamic. Consciously strive to create a harmonious mastermind alliance within your home. This requires mutual respect. Treat your child, your spouse, and all family members with respect, even during disagreements. Model courteous communication. Listen actively. Value differing opinions. Encouragement a daily habit. Celebrate each other's efforts and successes, large and small. Be cheerleaders for one another's goals. Offer support during challenges. Harmony, minimize conflict and discord. Address disagreements constructively, focusing on solutions rather than blame. Seek understanding. Create a peaceful and supportive emotional atmosphere. Protect the home from unnecessary strife. Shared positive values. Discuss and uphold positive values like honesty, integrity, persistence, kindness, contribution, and personal responsibility. Let these values guide family decisions and interactions. Collaborative spirit. Approach family challenges and goals with a spirit of teamwork and collaboration, rather than dictatorship or opposition. Involve children appropriately in discussions and decisions that affect them. Protect your family mastermind from negative external influences as well. Be mindful of the media consumed, the associations kept, and the conversations entertained within the home. Ensure the prevailing influence is one of upliftment and constructive thinking. Guard the gates of your child's mind by guarding the influences within your home. Creating a positive family mastermind is not about achieving perfection. It is about setting a conscious intention and consistently working towards harmony, support, and mutual upliftment. This supportive environment provides the fertile ground where the seeds of purpose, faith, and PMA can take root and flourish. It gives your child the secure base and the amplified energy needed to develop the vital quality of persistence. Next section is forging persistence through strength, purpose, faith, positive mental attitude, and a harmonious mastermind set the stage for achievement. But without the quality of persistence, even the most brilliant plans and fervent desires will wither at the first sign of opposition. Persistence is the iron cord that binds all other principles together until the goal is reached. Persistence is the bedrock of character. It is the sustained effort required to induce faith. It is the quality that separates the winners from the legions who quit just short of the goal line. It is the iron will that refuses to accept failure as final. It is perhaps the quality most lacking in those who fail to achieve lasting success. Many parents misunderstand how persistence is developed. They believe it can be forced through discipline or punishment for giving up. This is a grave error. Punishing a child for lacking persistence, especially when they fail at a task they find difficult or uninteresting, does not build persistence. It builds fear of failure. It teaches the child to avoid challenges altogether, lest they incur further punishment or criticism. It associates effort with pain. It crushes the very spirit needed to persevere. True persistence is not born from fear. It is born from willpower, fueled by a burning desire, definite purpose, and sustained by unwavering faith and a positive mental attitude. It is an internal quality nurtured from the foundation of competence and belief, often within the supportive context of a master mind. How then do you nurture this essential quality in your child? Build on strengths. Persistence grows most naturally when applied to activities the child feels competent in and passionate about their definite purpose. Success breeds success, allowing them to experience the rewards of persisting through challenges in their areas of strength. Builds a general habit of persistence they can later apply elsewhere. When they master a difficult level in a game, learn a complex musical piece, or perfect a skill in sports through sheer tenacity, they learn the feeling of persistence paying off. This feeling is transferable. Encourage effort, not just outcome. Shift the focus from achieving perfection to valuing the effort and the process. Praise their determination, their willingness to keep trying, their strategies for overcoming obstacles, even if the final result isn't perfect. I see how you kept working on that problem even when you were stuck. That determination is impressive. This reinforces the value of the act of persisting. Break down large tasks. Overwhelm is the enemy of persistence. Teach your child how to break down daunting tasks into smaller, manageable steps. Celebrate the completion of each step, building momentum and confidence. This makes the overall goal seem less intimidating and allows for frequent reinforcement of effort. Success in small steps fuels the desire to take the next step. Reframe failure. Teach them that setbacks are not failures, but temporary defeats, valuable opportunities to learn, adjust strategy, and try again with more intelligence. Share stories of great achievers who faced numerous defeats before succeeding. Edison, Ford, Lincoln. Emphasize that every no brings them closer to a yes. Every obstacle overcome builds strength and wisdom. Failure is only failure when accepted as such. Provide support, not rescue. When they struggle, offer encouragement and guidance, but resist the urge to take over and solve the problem for them. Allow them the satisfaction of overcoming challenges through their own efforts, with your support as scaffolding. Ask questions like, what have you tried so far? What's another approach you could take? What resources could help? This builds their problem-solving skills alongside their persistence. Connect effort to purpose. Remind them why they are pursuing a particular goal, connecting the effort back to their definite purpose or a value they hold. This provides the necessary fuel for persistence when motivation wanes. Remember how much you wanted to learn this. Keep going, you're getting closer. Think about how proud you'll feel when you master it. Remember the child who has developed faith in their abilities, who maintains a positive mental attitude, who feels supported by their family mastermind, and who is pursuing something aligned with their definite purpose, will naturally develop persistence. They have the inner resources to keep going when things get tough. Persistence becomes the natural expression of their desire and belief. Conversely, the child whose confidence has been eroded, who operates from negative mental attitude, who feels unsupported, and who is forced into tasks they have no desire for, will lack the inner fuel for persistence. Punishing them further only deepens the problem and reinforces their belief that effort is futile or painful. Therefore, forge persistence in your child, not through the hammer of punishment, but in the fires of their own passions, stoked by your unwavering belief and encouragement. Nurture their strengths, celebrate their efforts, and teach them to view challenges as stepping stones on the path to their definite purpose. Finally, these cultivated inner qualities, purpose, faith, positive mental attitude, persistence, supported by the mastermind, must be channeled into tangible results through intelligent effort and well-conceived plans. Seventh section is guiding organized planning, and action desire is the starting point. Faith provides belief. Positive mental attitude sets the attitude. Persistence supplies endurance. The mastermind offers support. But these powerful forces remain potential until they are harnessed and directed through organized planning and translated into concrete action. A wish without a plan is merely a dream drifting on the winds of chance. A definite purpose must be crystallized into definite plans, and those plans must be put into immediate and continuous action. Thoughts, even the most powerful thoughts, do not materialize into reality without the bridge of action. Here again, the parent's role is not to dictate, but to guide. Your objective is to teach the child, according to their age and capacity, the principles of planning and the habit of taking action towards their goals, especially those goals aligned with their definite purpose. How can you effectively guide this process? Teach basic planning. Help your child learn to think through the steps required to achieve a goal, whether it's completing a school project, learning a new skill in their area of interest, or saving up for something they desire. Keep it simple and age-appropriate. Ask what's the first thing you need to do, what comes next, what resources will you need, what potential obstacles might arise, and how could you overcome them? The act of planning itself focuses the mind, organizes thought, and makes the goal seem more attainable. Emphasize the first step. Often the greatest barrier to action is inertia. Teach the importance of taking the first step, however small, immediately after a plan is made. Action cures fear and builds momentum. Celebrate that initial movement. Great plan. What's the very first action you can take right now? Break it down again. Just as with persistence, breaking plans into small actionable steps makes them less overwhelming and increases the likelihood of follow-through. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Ensure the child understands how to identify and take that first step, then the next. Focus on daily or weekly actions. Encourage initiative. While guidance is necessary, allow the child increasing autonomy in planning and executing actions related to their own goals and interests. This builds responsibility, self-reliance, and the crucial understanding that they are the masters of their own efforts. Resist the urge to micromanage. Celebrate action and effort. Praise the act of starting, the effort put into executing the plan, and the willingness to take action, regardless of the immediate outcome. Reinforce the habit of doing, the process of engaging with the plan. I'm impressed that you followed through on your plan today. Connect action to results. Help them see the link between their planned actions and the results they achieve, reinforcing the power of organized effort. When a plan succeeds, analyze why. When it falls short, analyze why. Adjust the plan and encourage renewed action. This teaches valuable lessons in strategy and adaptation. Avoid the trap of overmanaging. Do not create the plans for them or execute the actions for them, except where absolutely necessary in early childhood. Your goal is to empower them to become capable planners and actors in their own right, learning through experience under your supportive guidance. The child who learns to translate their desires and beliefs into organized plans and consistent action possesses a tool of immense power. They are no longer passive dreamers, buffeted by circumstance, but active creators, shaping their own reality. They understand that thought, backed by belief and organized effort, is the true causative force in achievement. By guiding them in developing this habit, you equip them with the practical mechanism for transmuting the invisible forces of thought and desire into tangible achievements, laying the groundwork for a lifetime of success. Lastly, is the parent as the master architect. We return to where we began, to you the parent, the guardian, the mentor, holding the sacred trust of shaping a young life. As we invoked at the start, quoting the essence of my findings, cherish your visions and your dreams, as they are the children of your soul, the blueprints of your ultimate achievements. This applies equally to the visions and dreams budding within the soul of your child. Those passions, those interests, those nascent desires, they are the blueprints of their ultimate achievements. Your highest duty is not to impose your own blueprint, but to help them refine and realize theirs. We have journeyed through the timeless principles that govern the achievement of success, applying them specifically to the profound task of raising a child capable of greatness. We have cast aside the destructive fallacy of motivation through fear and punishment. Instead, we have embraced a constructive philosophy, grounded in understanding and nurturing the child's inner world. Let us summarize the master keys you now possess. Discover and nurture their definite purpose. Recognize and fan the flames of their natural interests and passions. These are the seeds of their future success. Cultivate unshakable faith. Build their self-belief through your own unwavering faith and the power of positive autosuggestion. Instill a positive mental attitude. Model and teach optimism, resilience, and a solution-oriented approach to life's challenges. Create a harmonious mastermind. Foster a supportive, encouraging, and respectful family environment. Forge persistence through strength. Nurture their willpower by building on their successes and teaching them to view setbacks as temporary defeats. Guide organized planning and action. Empower them to translate desire into tangible results through planning and consistent effort. Cease, therefore, the futile attempt to motivate through coercion, criticism, and the crushing of their spirit. Abandon the tools of fear. They are unworthy of your high calling. Instead, become a wise guide, a master architect of confidence. Nurture the fire within them. Provide the tools, the encouragement, and the unwavering belief they need to build the edifice of their own success, according to their own unique blueprint. Your power is immense, not the power of control, but the power of influence, the power to shape an attitude, to build a belief, to ignite a purpose, to foster a spirit that cannot be denied. Embrace this power with wisdom and love. Apply these principles consistently, patiently, persistently, and you will not merely raise a child, you will unleash an achiever upon the world, equipped with the inner resources to claim their own magnificent destiny.